One.
Hi, I'm Danny Queen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Cultivate Poetry today. We got a brother with us from Union Temple Baptist Church, my brother Spence. Spence, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, sir, for
Now,
inviting me.
give us your full name.
Jerry M. Spence, Jerry Mike Spence.
Don't forget that M.
Got to put that in. And, my mom will reach down from heaven and slap me side the head like that.
I know that's right. Yeah, brother. Now you are on woodcraft artist,
Yes,
and you've been doing this for a long time.
long time.
How long is a long time, brother Spence?
I have been thinking about it because I know back growing up, one of the things in high school, I always liked to work with wood stuff.
Wood shop. Remember
we
we had wood shop?
We had wood shop there.
Metal shop?
Had every shop you was.
Yes.
And see, there was always that little competition between my older brother and myself. And so he was the brick mason, so he could always do all the brick masonry stuff. Right. And for me, when I got in high school, I liked to mess with the wood. So that's how I started.
I used to, you remember we used to work with wood and metal and clay? Man, I just didn't have that gift. I'd make, you had big ball of clay.
Right.
What you making? An ashtray? And then next week, my teacher be like, what you making? An ashtray? Queen, can you make anything besides an ashtray? I was like, well, sir, I got a lot of people in my house who smoke. But I couldn't make anything, man. I just didn't have that gift.
For me, I'm gonna tell you one of the things I know before I went when I was my junior and senior in high school. We in the wood shop always making something. So I made a bookcase, and one of the things that I was in pottery class, and I made a hippopotamus.
Oh, really? Out of wood?
Out of ceramics.
Oh, wow.
And so I used to do a little bit of everything. And the thing, I have to put a plug in for Mom Maddie. Mom Maddie is 104.
Wow.
And she still remembers everything. And so she every now and then she said, Mac, where is that piece that you made? That little ceramic piece. And we talk about that.
Wow. You still have slide
and so that's part for me to start doing that.
I remember ceramic. I did make a little piggyback one time.
Oh, okay.
But it looked like an ashtray.
So you have a thing about ashtrays, huh?
I couldn't make nothing else, man.
I wonder about that. Okay.
Yeah, man. I just wasn't creative with my hands like it. But I see kids like in like metal class or wood class, they would make all kinds of stuff, man. That's just amazing to me. But I could write though.
Oh, see, now I wasn't a writing person, but and then like I ended up being a teacher.
Wow.
So
how long you been teaching, Brother Spence?
I taught from 1970 until about 3 years ago.
Wow.
And the thing I think there's one thing that has me all the time. It is. I remember telling my senior teacher, if I had anybody in my class like me, I'd kill him. So I know I ain't gonna be no teacher.
You used to say that.
I told her, cause she was a good teacher, and I Miss Wood. Her name was Miss Wood. I said, if I have anybody in my class like me, I know I couldn't kill you. I couldn't do it.
But I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it in high school. At that time, we had what they call vocational education. They don't, and they just teach automotives and all of that.
Yes.
But they don't do that anymore.
What happened was they wanted to decide one thing: if they wanted us to be doctor, lawyers, or Indian chiefs. That's what I call it.
Yeah,
and with that,
true.
they started putting us in different areas. And so, you like this, you do this, and you do that. And so, and one of the things that, because for me, I ended up, the last place I worked at was a place called Tall Oaks Vocational High School.
Where?
That's in Bowie.
Oh, okay.
In Bowie.
Oh, yeah, Tall Oaks, yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened was that I still remember...
Church Road, and
off of Church Road, right.
Yeah.
And I still remember talking to the young men and asking them what they like doing. And I started this when I first started teaching, and started all this time I always asked them, what do you like doing? And they go, I don't know. And so then everybody always, they said, well, I don't know what I like. I said, let me ask you something. Can you talk to your, your grandma,
right,
and your great grandma, any of those? Just talk to them.
Yeah.
I said, go talk to the oldest person in your family and ask them what they do. And from that, I learned myself. Because my preacher, Reverend Willie Wilson, sir, I was making cups and all these chalice, and I was making small ones.
Okay.
And so we needed something for one of our programs, a larger one.
Okay.
And he said, "Well, just make a bigger one." And I said, "Reb, I ain't never made anything like that." He said, "What's wrong with you? Just talk to your ancestors." And I'm like,
what he
"Oh."
said? That sound like Reb. No,
That's right. That's Reb.
That
Right?
sound like
He said, "Talk to
Reb.
your ancestors." I'm like, "What's this man talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know what this man talking about." Then I started thinking. On my mother's side, most of the males that were on her side were carpenters.
Oh.
So now, if
you didn't know that,
I didn't. I knew that, but I didn't think about that.
Oh wow.
And so when I started thinking about that, then I said, "Well, that meant that that must be
Maybe you
something
got
else."
some of that.
Yeah.
In your genes. Yeah.
And the clincher on that was in '05 I went to Africa. And one of the guys at church.
Now, where in Africa? Because that's
I went to Ghana.
Ghana, specifically.
I went to Ghana.
Yes. Okay.
And he told me, "Well, when you're there, go to the Craftsman Village." So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, all right, man. That's all, man. They always just tell me, do this, do this." I'm like, "Okay." And so when I went there, just like I'm talking to you, Danny, this man that I was talking to was a spitting image of my brother. And I said, "I know I left my brother home." This is my oldest brother. I know I left him home because when I left, he was there. And this man went, and from that point on.
That's deep, bro, Spence.
That was it. That was
Wow.
it. So for me, I learned. And I guess for me, one of the other things was that, we have so many of our young men. They like to do tattoos and stuff like that. And
of course.
I would explain to them, "Man, you always, why you got this?" And I used to ask them, "What did it mean?" "Oh, I don't know. I said, "Let me ask you something." I said, "You could be putting something on your body that means that you're a devil inside and that you this
don't
and
know.
that.
You don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
And you're carrying that all the time." And so what I ended up doing, because I got into the Dinka symbols.
Yes.
The Dinka symbols are the symbols that were brought over from Ghana that originally came from Egypt.
Yes, the Adinkra symbol.
And see, so many people like, "Huh? What you talking about?" And that part I love so much was because it's one of those things where it's like, "What you mean that Egypt gone? They a whole thousand miles apart."
Doesn't matter, but it's an opportunity to teach.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so I told them, so I started giving them different things that they could do. And so one of them I gave them was the Jinyami. And the Jinyami, that means God.
Well, do you have Jinyami here?
Oh.
Because we got this is show and
Yes,
tell.
sir, I have a Jinyami.
This is show and tell.
What's my Jinyami sign? Oh, I'll tell you, let's put it in one inside of one. Oh,
Okay.
how about just do it in book?
Okay.
That's better.
And can you read the definition of the Jinyami?
Yes, sir.
Which means only God,
Only
except God.
That's
There
it.
it is right there.
It means.
And let's hold it up.
No,
So,
it's actually here.
yeah, so they can see it.
So, 1 second.
Yes. And this is called
Jinyami.
Jinyami, and it means
Only God. It said, "Except God and only, 'tis only God." Symbol of omnipotence, omnipresent, immortality of God. Except God, I feel none. And
the
so
Jinyami.
that's the one symbol that for me, and that I always, for the first one, if somebody asks me for one of these symbols, I
That's
give
the
them
first
this.
one.
That's the first one I get.
Wow.
I give away more of these symbols than I sell.
that's the Jinyami.
It's in Jinyami here.
Yeah, let's hold that up, man. And then I want you. Oh wow,
See,
love
this
that,
is the
man.
Jinyami sign.
Only
right here.
God.
Only God.
That's one we have on the pulpit. At the
That's
temple.
it. At
That's
the
it.
temple, that's what we got.
That's what we got.
And
And
see,
Reb chose that one.
yeah.
He chose it himself.
Reb chose this, and Reb he ended up taking everything. He was like, if he lose one, he said, "Spence, I need another one because I gave it to somebody. I give it to
Yes,
whatever
I was
might be."
figuring he probably gave it to somebody.
Good. But that's part of it. And so for us, learning our symbols and learning what things mean.
Now, what we want to do also, we want to talk about this dictionary, but we don't want to go through each one of those symbols you have on the table. We want to talk about this symbol. Oh, that's the one I got. No.
No, you
And
got
then we-
Banaka.
Banaka. And then we have this one here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can start where we want to start.
Okay, let's start with the book.
Okay.
The reason I'm starting with the book is this.
And
The person that wrote this is Dr. Bruce Willis. And he has
Bruce.
been up to Union Temple.
Many times
many times.
over the years.
And maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, well, around the time when Dick Gregory passed,
Right.
and
Mhm.
we were having different people
Yeah.
come to the
Mhm.
church and we was talking about
Mhm.
it, and I was out in the vestibule
40-day
talking.
ascension and all.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so I was there, and I had my book,
Mhm.
and when I had my book, I was sitting and I was because I was giving some to some of the people and selling some whatever it might be,
Mhm.
and he saw it, and he said, "What you doing with something like that and messing up? You got that book all tore up and everything." And so I'm one of
means
these
you
guys.
used it.
I'm really like, okay, then this man don't know who he talking to, and who
Brother
he
Bruce.
talking to me like this.
And he talk all loud too.
And he was loud, and so I'm like, okay. And then he said, "Man, you need to get something else. You done tore that book up." I said, "Because I used it." He said, "Oh,
Right,
yeah."
yeah. It's well used, yeah.
And then that's when I was introduced to him because I had never seen his face.
Mhm.
I was introduced. I said,
Oh, you
they
didn't
said
know who he was?
I didn't know who he was. This man talking about my book, and I'm
He's
I'm
the
an
author
artist.
of the book.
Yeah, I'm an artist, and so I
Yeah.
like
Right,
when you
yeah.
stuff, you don't like people to talk
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
And he told me who it was, and my mouth fell open,
Oh, wow.
and that was it.
Wow.
And
Brother Bruce.
for me, I did end up giving one of my pieces. I gave him one of my
Mhm.
pieces and stuff.
Wow.
And I told him I used his book.
All
That
the
showed.
time.
He said. Then after he got on me, then he showed. He said that shows at least you
Yeah.
have it out and you're using it. All
And
the
you took
time.
it to the next level.
And I took it to the next.
And you're the
level.
only person, Brother Spence, I know who do this, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long time before I knew you actually did it yourself. I thought maybe you was, retail or something.
I'm gonna tell you, the best compliment I got. My daughter's oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
He is an art student up at MACA in Baltimore.
Okay.
And so he has some of my pieces.
Oh, wow.
And so the students there
Mhm.
said to him, "Oh yeah, what'd he do? He cut that out on a computer?" Because that's what they, if
That's
you
what
see
they
some
know.
of the pieces that they have,
Mhm.
especially if it's our pieces, and if they're real thin, maybe like
Mhm.
1/8 of an inch or one
Right.
less,
Mhm.
then they've been cut out by a computer because everything is so precision.
Oh.
And so they thought
That's
I
what
was
you were
using a
doing.
computer
Yeah.
to cut it out.
Yeah.
And I told him, "No, I cut this out with my hand."
My hand, yeah.
And he was like,
All your pieces are handmade.
all of my pieces are handmade.
Yeah.
And I said, now they look close to the same
Mhm.
because I use the same pattern.
Mhm.
And so my grandson, he was like, "No, my granddad, he cut these out with his hand."
He said-
And so it ended up by
Proud of his
close to the end of the
granddad.
year, they had a
Mhm.
exhibit, and so when I went up there and he introduced me to the students, and he said, "Yeah, this is my grandfather. He's the one cut those pieces out." And he
Wow.
said, "You cut that out by you?" I said, "Yes, I cut that on my scroll
That's
saw."
beautiful, brother. He's
Mhm.
proud of his granddad.
Yeah.
My granddaddy did this.
The best part about it is that I gave him some pieces. I said, "Well,
Mhm.
you go ahead and sell them if you want to."
Mhm.
Danny,
Wow.
he walks around with 6 or 7 pieces around his neck every day.
He's a salesman.
And he knows. And I told him, I said, "Now you can't. If you got something on your neck and you don't know what it means,
Yes,
you need to
you
put
should
it there.
know
You
what it
need to
means.
take it off." Because I had the experience from a lady. She was from the motherland,
Mhm.
and I had a piece on, and she just walked up to me and said, "You got that on. You don't even know what it means."
Mm.
And when she left, she was like,
Right. You
because
never know who
she
you're
knew who
talking
she's
to.
talking to. Right.
Right.
Mhm.
You never know.
So that was me. And for me getting into it, and I think that one of the impetus was I used to work at Gallaudet
Mhm.
University.
Okay. What was that like?
It was fun. It was fun
Really?
because when I got there, it was, how would I say, it was around 1981.
Mm.
And so again, that was one of those situations where it's like, oh yeah. When I interviewed for the job,
Mhm.
they were like, okay, do you know sign language? I said no. And then by the time I finished, they were like, okay, well, we'll take you anyway.
Okay.
And there,
Mhm.
I met a couple of young men who were from Africa. They were there.
Oh.
And so I was a craft teacher and art
Mhm.
teacher, craft and industrial arts and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so I had marbles, and I was making little games with him.
Okay.
And so he told me, I know that. I said, what do you mean? And he told me what it meant, that the marbles, they shoot marbles. And I'm like,
They still shoot marbles. Wow.
and so we think about all the games and all the stuff that we played
Yeah,
in
years ago.
our growing up.
Yes, that was
See,
part
we
of the culture.
played marbles.
Yeah, we played marbles.
And he was like, oh yeah, we played marbles. Like, what you mean you play marbles? This is America. No.
They played marbles.
All of the game, a lot of the stuff. Then that's when I really got into it,
Oh,
about
wow.
African stuff. And then the more and more I got into it, and when I was at Gallaudet, that was the first time I started making the African pieces.
Wow.
And so from that point on, it been.
Just went from there.
I just went from there.
You know, I see some of the young people who wear all tattoos and all
Mhm.
kinds of tattoos, but I never seen no Adinkra tattoos.
That's what I started doing. That's one of the reasons I started doing it.
I want to
Is
see
showing the
Adinkra
young
tattoos.
men
Yes,
what it meant.
yes.
And see, for me, it was one of those things where it's like, no, I'm not gonna put nothing on my body if I don't know what it means. And
That
I
don't
started
make
explaining
sense.
to the young men and about what I said. When you have something on your body, again, like we talked about, the symbols and mean can mean anything.
Yes.
And you could have a negativity running around with you, and you won't wonder about why everything always happened to me, because you're inviting that on you because you got a symbol on your body.
That's right. Yeah, it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Yeah, I
That's it.
see. Sometimes I see people with, tattoo with people's names. I was dating a girl one time, had somebody's name across her breast. I'm like, I ain't touching that.
And see, and then too, like, okay, that means that person, whatever.
Tyrone. I'm like, where's Tyrone?
Uh-huh.
This one belongs to Tyrone.
No, don't
I
mess
said,
with
no,
Tyrone.
I ain't give it between
Don't
Tyrone
mess,
and
don't
Antoine.
mess with Tyrone. All
I'm
right?
telling you.
Don't mess with Tyrone.
But no, but the point is to have something that have meaning, a
Right.
depth. And that's what I think the Adinkra symbols would be great for those who tattoos.
Right. And one of the things is that 2 years ago, Tony Browder always come to Union Temple for Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, yeah, every year.
And 2 years ago, he had investigated a tomb, one of the tombs in Egypt, because he's an Egyptologist. And so when he went in, he found the Sankofa symbol.
Oh, what?
And so, and that Sankofa symbol was above the doorway
Sankofa bird.
of the tomb.
Oh, wow.
And so and he said that was confirmation to him. And all the other people who had trying to say it wasn't Ghana and Egypt were connected, that what happened was during that time, the wise people knew that more people were coming in to Egypt who were against everything that they did. They were talking about people, white, that were coming in. It was more white that was coming in from Europe. And so they were coming in more into to Egypt. And so that's when the people in Egypt, when they say they left and they crossed the Nile River and all, all of those things are connected to that, showing that they left and went west. And so when they went west, then that's why in Ghana, that's why they always talk about the symbols in Ghana. But the symbols all originated in Egypt.
So how old would you say the Adinkra symbols are, Brother Spence?
From what I've read and the things that I've talked, they're talking about it close to thousands of years old.
Thousands. Yes.
Thousands of years
Now
old.
we went through the Njembe. Let's go through a few more pieces and we can hold them
Okay.
up. I want to see some of the pieces also, so I can actually hold them. Which
Okay.
one you want to go through?
You have that one. Hold on to that one.
Okay.
See that one there that you see that he has.
This one title.
That's one I call that what I say.
I love this,
I say
man.
what it is.
Oh, this is the mixed symbol.
It's two symbols.
Wow.
All right.
look at
See,
that.
in Africa, and before I had started doing it, and the thing I love about this book, every day that I read it, I find something new.
Wow. Isn't that
And
beautiful?
what that means is that I find something that I had done and didn't know that I was doing.
Oh, wow.
Because
'Cause you still
combining the two symbols is called fusion.
Oh.
And so that can easily make you able to tell the story that you want to tell.
Oh, wow.
This particular one here is Fuhenka. Fuhenka means house. That's like it was building a fort around where you lived for protection. And so I have Jinyami. And so what I said
House of God?
House of God. God's
Woo.
in my house.
Lord.
House
Let's
of
get a
God.
close up of that,
Yes.
Brother Tony.
That
Again.
one
House
is
of God.
House of God.
And djembe on the inside, and then the other symbol on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
What's the outside symbol?
Fohenka.
A henka.
Fohenka. Fohenka.
Fohenka.
Mm-hmm.
House of God.
Right. Now,
That's deep, brother.
I'm going to tell you, see, now, this one a little smaller, but
Oh, now this is the different
it's
housing on there.
the same outside. It's a different outside, but the same inside.
Let's do a close up of that.
And what that particular one is, that is Ebon, that's the outside one, and again, it's Jinyami. And
Wow.
what this one says that God build a fence around me, build a fence around my family, whatever way you want to name it. So this is God build a fence around me.
Brother, I got to build it. I got to buy that one.
Okay, well,
God build
I
a
tell you
fence
what,
around.
because you kind of helped me out, you know, I'll let you can go and take that. Okay, you can go and take that one.
We
yeah.
make a deal, man. Let's make a deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Oh man. And see that, like you said, to know what you're talking about. To know you wearing something, you got to know what it means.
Yeah, and
yes, that's the beauty, man.
And the best part when people, that's why I think
Wow.
I have so many people, especially right now. It's so crazy that every school that I ever worked at, and especially when I started going to Union Temple, they knew, oh yeah, you at that school, at that church. They didn't want to say Union Temple. That church, you know, because
Oh, that African church.
That
they say
African church,
sometimes.
the African center stuff, y'all
Yeah.
this and you all that.
Yeah.
And so I gave them that. And once they knew that about me, every time there was something happening, we were always doing something. And then for me, I ended up seeing these different symbols and stuff like
now,
that.
we don't want to get this mixed up. Now, which bags that goes in?
That's it. That's
Okay.
your bag right
Now let's go to the next piece.
Okay. Another
This-
fusion.
Oh wow!
I love. I'm gonna
You
tell
do a lot
I
of
love,
fusion.
I do a lot. I've started to do a lot of fusion, and I'm gonna tell you what happens. I can be asleep sometime, and then what I'll do, I'll end up thinking about a symbol, and let's see how would that go? Because I got another one that is coming. I can't tell you what that is.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, this one here.
Close up, brother Tony. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That black and gold, man. That's
That
royal.
one is the Ankh. The Ankh is the original cross.
Yes.
And because it was the original cross, when you see a cross, all you know that it came from Africa. And so what I did with that,
Wow.
I combined them. That particular one, again, is Jinyami in the middle. And then the Ankh around the outside. And what I did, I changed up the top with the Ankh, the opening at the top stands for the woman's womb.
Oh wow.
And the long pieces, that stands for the man's penis.
Yeah, but
Okay, so that's what the Ankh is, the symbol of life.
but you got the continent in the.
What I did,
That's
the reason
unique,
I
brother.
put
Woo!
the continent in there, because everything started in Africa.
Oh man, you
Yeah.
better break that down, brother.
That's the reason I put
Lord,
that in there.
have mercy.
Because everything starts in Africa.
Okay.
So when I was like, because I was just making them, and then I was like, oh, let me try this. And
That's
once I
another
did that, that was it.
There's a deeper essence there.
Yes, everything.
Wow.
And
Oh,
see,
man.
the combination when we talk about fusion and putting stuff together,
Yes.
that one to me means more than anything else. Any of the other pieces, only because it ties us, Africa, with everything that we do. And that's what I want people to understand.
Wow.
That Africa and everything started in Africa.
Everything started.
Everything started in Africa. Anything you want to come up with, and they always try to find something, oh, this and that, or whatever it might be. But it
And
came
they're
in
correct.
Africa.
Wow.
And one of the other things I get people when they always would talk with Africa, and I ask them one question. You're trying to say they don't know anything. Let me ask you this.
It all
How
started.
did the largest pyramid in Africa is in the center of the earth?
The exact center of the earth.
The exact center of the earth. The largest
Geometrically.
pyramid
It's
in
in the
Africa
center of the earth.
is in the center of the earth.
And that's not by mistake. That's by design.
Hey, you
Somebody
can't.
knew.
Oh, I know what. No. See what happened was, they were like, oh, let's build this. Let's put it right there.
Yeah.
And they put it right there. Oh, in the center of the earth.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
By happenstance.
By happenstance.
No,
yeah.
that didn't happen by happenstance.
That's
that
part,
kind of precision?
No.
Man.
No.
Okay, and now next symbol.
Okay.
Okay.
Ajim du Waru. Ajim du Waru. Now,
Ajim du Waru.
I love it.
Close
The reason
up.
I love the book is because it gives you a way to pronounce the words so that you can know what it is.
Pronunciation.
So that if you see some people, you talk about stuff and you can't be like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about?
Phonetically.
Once you find out how they pronounce the word and see the way it's done, then they would like, oh, I know what you mean. And what's so crazy about this one here, this particular piece, this is the ayah, and this particular piece, and it's 5 other different pieces that I was, how would I put this? I was told that I had to make.
It's important. That's
Yeah,
important.
well, it was by my oldest son, and he said, "Pop, I need something to go up my steps, cause he bought a new house and he wants new things to go in his house."
Wow.
And so he said, "Pop," and he gave me 7 symbols that he wanted that is going to go in his house, and this is one of them here, the ayah.
The ayah.
That's going to be going in his
Now,
house.
what is the meaning of that?
This one here is symbol of faithfulness, alertness, and dutifulness.
Wow.
You see,
That's
we
beautiful.
always talk about, and people know when they talk about Africa, how so many of the language, they have different dialects and
Yes,
whatever it
many
might be.
different dialects.
And if you listen in the Bible, they talk about that. When God got mad with them, he said he made so they could understand each other.
Yes.
But one of the things that we kept was this.
But the symbols.
These symbols always
Connect
meant
us.
the same thing. So it has connected us to it. So these symbols mean everybody that sees this symbol that was in Africa,
understand.
they knew exactly what it meant.
And when you see that, you know.
When you see it, you know what it means. And that's the thing I love about it, is that no matter, just like I said, the young lady came up to me and like, you know what I mean. And then when I in some places that I go, people will like, especially if they're from the motherland, they will come up to you. Oh, okay. I was somewhere in PG. I was at a shopping center.
Okay.
And this guy, he came up to me and said, do you know what that means? And I love it when they come up, especially from the
Because
motherland.
they make an assumption.
Yeah, they make an assumption that we are wearing something that we don't know what it means.
Right.
And by the time I finished, he was like, "Oh, okay." But for him, what I did, I went to my car because I try to carry something with me all the time.
Yes, and you
And
should.
I came back and I gave it to him, and he was like, "Thank you." And see, what we have to understand is that all the time, the pieces that you have, the pieces that you see, the things that you have, people is a conversation piece.
Yes, it is all the
and
time.
it gives you a chance to explain to the people who you are. Because one of the things that I'll talk about my daughter's oldest. He's like, well, Granddad, when are we? In other words, when are we going to sit down and do this? Because what we are doing now, I'm going to show him how to use my scroll saw so that he can cut out pieces and
learn how to do it himself.
learn how to do it himself. Yeah.
Wow. That brings me to a piece I'd like to
Yes,
share
sir.
right here before we move on to the next symbol. Do it for the children. In the love of every man, woman, boy, and girl, you can find the key to the heart of the world. For each and every one, got to find a better way to do what some say just can't be done. Do it for the children and all that you do and say. Do it for the children. The lifetime of love got to be a better way. Do it for the children. Teach the children the truth. The innocence of a child is a seed of truth for all to see. Teach the children the truth. They're the fruit of the family tree. There's so much the world needs that there's just too little love. But all we really got to do is give a little more love. Do it for the children and all that you do and say. Do it for the children. A lifetime of love got to be a better way. Do it for the children. Teach the children the truth. And that's what you're doing. That's what you've been doing all these years, brother.
I'm gonna tell you, I
All
love
these
that.
years.
So if you in the, I tell you what we can do. We can just exchange.
Oh, I
exchange
got you,
that.
man. I got you.
But see,
Don't even worry
again,
about it.
those pieces, just like what you and see, our kids, they love words.
Yes.
And
That's
see,
true.
we always think about
Language,
when
man.
the language that they have and the language that our kids use.
Mhm.
But when you give them certain things,
Mhm.
and because I always give people something, try to give them something.
Yes.
See, that's what you got. You got to give them something. It's like this: if you take something from me
Mm-hmm.
and don't give me anything in return, then I feel that you just
Robbery. That's robbery.
But if you give me something in return, then you know
Yes.
what it's all
It's
about.
fair exchange.
And so that's why, for me, that's
Wow.
what everybody see this. Oh yeah, I like this. I'll take
It's
that.
a blessing, brother.
Mhm.
And so the next time, what we want to talk about?
Oh, okay. Again, I got to go bit of combo again.
Okay. Oh wow,
This
beautiful.
is a combo.
Ooh, heart of my heart. Oh, let me hold that up.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
we gotta get a shot of that, brother Tony.
That one is called For the Love of God.
Wow, everything goes back to
Everything
love.
goes back to God. Most of the time with my combos, I try to put everything that I have. I put God in it. So most
God
of
is
it,
in everything.
if I do a combo pieces, it's always I'm gonna try to add God into it.
Yeah,
And for this particular one, the outside one is called the Akuma.
Akuma.
And that's a female symbol that means
Okay.
love, faithfulness, goodwill, and patience.
Ooh, I like
Okay, and so
Yes.
that's why I say it's the
Akumba.
love of God. The love of God.
that. Everybody say the Akumba,
Akuma,
meaning
the love of God.
the love of God.
Mhm.
Wow.
And
So-
see, for that particular one, I tell people, I say, for your lady,
Mm-hmm.
for your
For
husband,
your lady, yeah. Love
for
one.
your love person, the
Loved
person
one.
that you love.
Yes.
When you give them that and you explain to them what it is, you
Right.
tell them that I love God and I love you.
That makes a connection, man.
That makes it. That makes
yeah,
the
that
connection.
kind of hooks it up.
That hooks it up, yeah.
Yeah.
And see, what people don't understand is
Mm.
the pieces that you give is like, it says everything that you want to say.
This is Valentine every day.
A balance.
This is chocolate city candy
That's
right here.
That's it, exactly.
Love
Because
of
then
God.
for Valentine's Day, what I did for those is I made
Mhm.
them and I put, for the ladies, it was a lighter red.
Mhm.
And for the men, it was a darker red.
Mm.
And so that the men had one and the ladies had one, so you kind of couldn't
You
tell.
know, I'm gonna call it Black Love Day.
Okay, all right. I like it. All right. Can I use that?
Yeah, no, I don't handy, man. She is Black Love Day. She's
Okay,
been
I
handy for
got
years.
you.
Yeah,
All right.
I
Mhm.
got that from the sister. Yeah.
And see, that's what I tell
Wow,
what
I
you tell
like that,
people
man.
is that you
It's
again
beautiful.
you always like to do something. When people see it,
Mm-hmm.
they be like, "Oh,
It's a thing
you
of
did
beauty.
that? What did that
Now,
mean?"
now this piece here, you did something different in terms of the color. You got that
Those
that
are
silver.
crystals. The silver
Wow.
on it and the black on it. It has
Mm.
the little sparkles on it, so
Mhm.
that it sparkles.
Wow, what a
So-
work of art, brother.
See, when you see that and it just sparkles, you
But
like, "Oh, okay,
now,
that's cool."
now let me stop right there for a minute.
Yes,
brother
sir.
Spence. Now, how long would it take you to do a piece like this?
Okay, to cut a piece out.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing it by hand.
Yes, yeah, on my scroll saw. I do it by hand. Everything is cut by hand.
Mm.
And what usually takes me about for each piece, just to cut that one piece out,
Yeah.
maybe about 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, but you've been doing it so long, though. You know
I've
exactly
been
what you
doing
want.
it. Like I said,
You know what you want.
I've been doing it now probably close to 30 plus years.
Speak of a work of art, brother.
Mhm.
Ah, have mercy.
Yes,
Mm.
and see that's what and for this one here, now I'm gonna do my last combo one.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let me say, while you pulling that out, let me say this. I met a brother I had on the show some years ago. His name was Kenta, and he was from Ghana, and this brother would carve. I had him on the show, and he'd be carving. He would carve these pieces he's working on right while I'm talking to him, interviewing him on the show.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, how do you keep the concentration? He said, well, I've been doing it a long time, and
Yeah.
he was just,
Well,
man, it's amazing, man.
I'm gonna tell you the one thing I wanted to carve,
Mm-hmm.
but I found out that I don't have the patience. And then too, what it is, you have to get the right materials and
Yes.
right woods that you need in order to do the carving on that. And so that's part of the thing I'm trying. That's part of the thing I'm trying.
But this is an art form in
Oh,
itself.
art form in itself.
Yes.
Because each when I went to the motherland,
Mm-hmm.
and you just give them a log, and by the time they finish with it, you will see something in your mouth be like, now how did that come from there? And that's what you see. And see, that's what when I tell people of being a craftsman, and because the first thing that the like I said with the students at the art school, they said, oh, because everybody does stuff by computer now.
Yeah,
I said, when you do it by computer, everything is the same. When you say handcrafted, it looks the same, but you'll see little differences in it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another one.
Oh, close up. Oh, I love that one, man. That's raw. That gold and black. What?
Yes, sir. All right, the outside part, that means transformation.
Oh, wow.
That means transformation. And so for that particular one,
transformation,
I tell everybody that we are all little G's. We are all little G's.
Little gods.
That's right. And that's in songs.
So what I say, through God comes transformation.
Transformation. And so we all transfer. We're trying to transfer we're trying to be big G's.
So you got the njeme on the inside.
Yes, sir.
As the nucleus, and on the outside.
Yes, sir. It's called a sign of transformation.
Sign of transformation.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Ooh, man.
So I tell people, they will, well, how did you come up with it? And basically, I don't know.
So how long you been into the combinations, Brother Spence?
Combinations now, probably, I started late the last 15.
Now, Reb seen these combinations?
Oh, Reb got everything.
He got all that.
He got everything. Well, now, Anika got the, I know what? Reverend Mary got the first transformation one.
Okay. Wow.
And then I gave Reverend Nika one, and then Reb got his, and go from there. You know?
Wow. That's beautiful.
And see, the transformation one, to me, that's for all of us.
And you got the colors, man.
Well, see, I'm gonna tell you, I love that black and gold. I
love that, man.
Maybe I don't know what that is. It must be something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, the colors
black
mean
and
a lot.
gold. Yes, sir.
So what do we have next?
You know what? I'm gonna go right to the one you got.
Okay. Yes. Talk about it.
Banaka.
Yes.
No one should bite another, outrage or provoke another. The symbol of justice, fair play, freedom, peace, forgiveness, unity, harmony, and the avoidance of conflict. And this one, it is so cool because what it tells us is that
let's hold that up so we can see.
All of us have, there's things that come up in all of us, and because of this, we have conflicts.
Yes,
and so what the symbol itself is saying is that all of us have conflicts, but we can work it out.
We can work it out.
And remember, it's together. That means all of us together can work this thing out.
And I knew that.
You can't work it out by yourself now.
I knew that. That's why I put this one on today.
Yeah, because like you got a problem. If you work it out, and the other person don't see it, it ain't worked out.
It ain't worked out. It's just one
half
of it.
Half of it is done, but it ain't
worked out.
What about
the other half? Yes. So that's significant. Now we got to talk about this piece as well.
Okay.
We talked about this one.
That's part of the Aya.
Okay.
And Aya is the symbol of endurance, defiance against difficulty, hardiness, perseverance, and resourcefulness.
Okay, let's get a shot of that because this is important, so people see, so we can change some of them tattoos we wear.
Oh yeah.
Some of them tattoos we wear, with craziness, but don't mean nothing. It just means something to you personally, and that's fine too. But this is a collective meaning. This is a universal meaning. Oh, we got that, Tony? Oh wow, hold up. Yes. Keep going, Brother Spence.
Okay. Now, the symbol, what you have over there, sir.
That's combination as well.
That's combo. That can be a fusion.
Oh.
Because each one of those pieces mean a specific thing. For that particular one, what I did was I thought about family.
Can we get a close up on this one?
I thought about my family.
Yes.
And with my family, I knew that there are certain things, we go through a lot of stuff.
Yes.
All of us go through stuff.
Yeah, family.
And for that, I use that one for, the first one I made for my oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
Then I made some for different people, because what it was, the symbols I pulled up was all about us.
Mm-hmm.
In the center, the first one you see is the Jinyami.
Oh yes, that's the center for everything.
See, with God is in the center of everything.
Everything.
And then the other symbols, there's one for wisdom. That's the one right closest to you at the top. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the symbol of wisdom.
Wisdom. Yes.
Yes. And then coming down from that one,
Mm-hmm.
that one is for brotherhood and family.
Okay.
And see, what I tell people is, when
Wow.
they sometimes they come to me and say, well, I want to make this for somebody or someone or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't just tell me you want to make it for somebody.
So they give you situations
Mhm.
sometimes,
Yes.
and then you.
What I do, I try to
Accordingly.
pull it up. And then the next thing that I ask them about that person, and then I go back and be like, okay, I add to it. I tell everybody, for me, there are 3 symbols that I always put. The one the last one is for family, Jinyami in the middle for God, and the one next to the one across from that on the bottom,
This one.
the one across from that
on the
one.
other side.
That one there,
Yes.
that one is Sankofa.
Oh, go back and fetch it.
Go back and fetch it.
Yes.
That's talking about, in other words,
Culture.
what they mean is this. If
Tradition.
you don't understand what it is that you are doing,
Mm-hmm.
the things that are happening to you,
Mm-hmm.
you are bound to repeat it if you
Yes.
don't understand it. So if you keep on doing the same old thing all the time, you heard people keep knocking yourself
Yes.
against the head.
So Sankofa talks about the cultural
The culture. Know
tradition.
about
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
Know
Don't forget
about-
the past as
don't
we
forget
move
the past
forward.
As we move
And
forward.
Yes.
And the next one above that one,
Mm-hmm.
that's knowledge.
Knowledge. Oh,
That's knowledge.
can't do nothing without
You
knowledge.
got to have the knowledge.
Wow.
And so for me, what I always tell people that there are certain things that mean everything to us, so that we can give the information.
So if we could describe each one of these symbols in one word, it would say what? Starting with
Wisdom,
wisdom,
family,
family,
history, knowledge,
and knowledge.
and God.
That sounds like a poem, man.
That's it.
I'm gonna have to write that down, bro.
And see, and the major and the symbol that is on,
Mm-hmm.
that is called Nyami Newu Naumawa. And that is,
Nyami.
I live not when God is not. That's the symbol of God.
Wow.
Symbol of omnipresent, omnipotent of God, the perpetual existence of a man's spirit in antiquity and old age.
Let's show that so people can see it, man. And that's called again. Get a shot of that, Tony. That's beautiful, brother. Say it again, brother.
Nyami
Mm-hmm.
Newu Na Mawa. And like I said, and what I love about the book that he had, this book here.
Well, let's show the cover and get that brother his props.
Yes.
Brother Bruce Willis.
Brother Bruce Willis.
W. Bruce Willis. And
Yes.
the book is
I'm gonna tell you
entitled.
right now, you can get it, or you probably can get it on Amazon and different places. But this is the late. This is the latest one.
And it's called the Adinkra Dictionary by W. Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Wonderful book of Adinkra symbols.
And I tell the thing I tell everybody is that when
And I'm sorry, what was you saying about the new book? I'm sorry, I
the
mean
new book that he has a few additional symbols.
Oh,
I haven't gotten
okay.
that one yet. But the new one that he has,
Oh,
he
wow.
found. I think he said he found about 3 or 4
So
different
this
symbols.
is well researched.
Oh yeah.
Well researched.
Oh, I think that was one of the reasons he came after me.
Yeah.
Because I had his book torn up. It was just a way of conversation.
Yeah.
I know what it was. It was a way of conversation.
But what you're doing here, brother, is conversation piece.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to have you on. So what do we have next?
Okay. Next one.
Because I want to get them all in before.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Hold on a minute. I have to look up. Pull the bag up. See, I do carry my bag with me.
Yes. And so these pieces, these pieces can be worn for all kinds of events.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Traditional events and anything that you might, to need it for, because the meanings are all there.
This is the one.
And then,
I got another combo.
okay.
Yes.
Oh wow.
This one wasn't quite finished.
Mhm. Wow.
That's the
Oh
alligator.
wow. Oh,
Again,
that's tied together. Let's get a
the
shot of that.
genomic.
And
This
talk-
particular one, and what it says, I say it means with God, we can all come together. What this is, what this symbol symbolizes, is two alligators.
Mhm.
They have a common goal, which
Mhm.
is their stomach.
Yeah.
And so with their stomach, then what it means that we different people can come together for a common goal.
Mhm.
And what I've said is different people can come together for a common goal, and with God in it, we can make it.
Wow. Everything goes back. We keep saying everything goes back to
hey,
the,
for me,
to the-
I'm back to God. I go back right back to God. I don't,
the
like I
spirituality.
said, my combos and stuff like that, I always put God in it.
Pour some more stuff out there, Spence. I know you can light something bad. Just pour it on the table. We'll be all right. Because there's so much that you
Okay.
have, brother. Let's
Mhm.
talk about the continent. Yes,
Okay.
because that's my favorite colors, the red, black, and green.
Mhm.
So ain't no way around that.
For me, I tell people, I make people.
Okay.
For me, what I try to do, I make people think,
Mhm.
and I love it when you meet, especially somebody
Oh
new.
man. Oh, love that.
When you meet somebody new,
Yes.
and they see it, and they be like, "Oh man, that's neat."
Wow.
And then you get a chance to explain it to them.
Mhm.
And I tell people, yes, this is my business, but my purpose is to spread knowledge
Yes.
so that people could understand everything. And when people see that, now everybody see this, and everybody
Yes.
know, we know the colors of Africa, but
Yeah.
see, you have to understand. See, everybody see it, but when
Everybody
they see it
know
in
that.
a different perspective,
Yes, and you explain it.
and you explain it to
Now
them.
we know the red, black, and green started with the Honorable Marcus Garvey,
Right.
in
Mhm.
1920 in the movement out in New York.
Mhm.
Of course, was the trying to think of it, the Renaissance, the
Mhm.
Harlem Renaissance.
And see, the other thing people got to understand is that we had so many people when they were talking about Marcus Garvey,
Yes.
and we always talk about those times when they want to leave, people
Mhm.
wanted to leave. Oh, I haven't put the plug in.
Mhm.
The plug is this. There's a young man, his name is Paul Cuffey.
Okay.
And when you look up Paul Cuffey,
Mhm.
you will find out that he was
Wow.
how want to put this?
Mhm.
Oh, he was a navigator, black
Okay.
navigator
Okay.
on a ship on one of the ships that came
Slave ship.
on one of the ships that came in from Africa,
Mhm.
and he was one of the first group of people that organized the return to Africa with Marcus Garvey when they were talking about going back to Africa
In the 1920s.
In the 1920s, of going back to Africa,
Mhm.
and he was one of those people. And because he was a navigator and all these things, that was part of his trip.
He knew the seas,
He knew
the
it.
trade winds, and all.
And the best part about it, I guess maybe about 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna call maybe 8 years ago. My uncle.
Mhm.
I went to see him and I gave him one of the symbols because all of my elders. That's what when I see them, I
Right.
have to honor
That's
them.
your
So I give them
Give
something so that they know that's part of us.
Wow.
It's part of us.
Mm.
And he said, "Oh, Mac, I'm gonna give you something." He
Mhm.
gave me this was a sheet
Okay.
and had his name on it,
Mm-hmm.
Paul Cuffey on it. He said, "Oh yeah, we used to go there every summer for a family get together." I
Wow.
said, "What you mean you had to go there?" And his name was Booker T. Washington Cuffey.
Oh, Booker T. Washington Coffee.
Yes.
Wow.
And so what it was that we went back to Massachusetts. That's where they went back. Their family went back to Massachusetts
Mhm.
to have a gathering every year in celebration of that.
They do it once a year.
And I was like,
Mhm.
wow.
You didn't know that.
What I tell people,
Mhm.
that's what I tell people, you got to learn, you need to learn about yourself.
Yes.
And you got to learn
Your
about
culture.
your history.
Yes.
You always need to talk to the older people
Who
in
came
your
before you.
family.
That's right.
The ones that came before you.
Yes.
Because they have so much information that
right.
you be
Wisdom.
like, huh?
We talked about wisdom here.
That's
wisdom.
it. That wisdom.
Yes, wisdom.
And it be gone. And next thing you know, why it's gone.
Now, before we have to go, we got
Yes, sir.
one more piece.
Got one more piece.
Okay.
Oh, this one here. I'm about to do this one.
Ooh, man, that's beautiful, brother. That gold and brown. Oh. Oh, wow. Let's hold that. Let's get this, brother engineer. Oh, man, isn't that beautiful? Oh, wow. Talk about that, brother.
Nayadua.
Nayadua.
You know what that means?
No, give it to me.
It's the altar of God.
Wow.
The altar
Altar
of
of
God.
God.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How beautiful. Now, this is not a combination, though.
No, that's not a combo.
Oh, wow.
This is right here.
The altar of God.
Altar of God.
And this wonderful book by Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
We
And see,
really
like I
appreciate
said, all of the stuff, all the pieces that you see, when people see them, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. The
Wow.
altar of God. And see, people's and the thing I love about them is that it's always a conversation.
It's a conversation
It's
piece.
always a conversation.
As Stevie Wonder would say, a conversation piece.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, brother. We thank you for coming and
I
sharing with us
appreciate
today.
it.
There's so many pieces that you've done. You've been doing this over the years.
Yes, sir.
And it's just wonderful, man. I got to get some of these pieces before we leave here. But where can we and how can we get in touch with you?
All
Brother
you,
Spence?
my number is 202-562-0624, and just call me and just tell me if you can look up Adinkra symbols, and it's in the once you pull them up, and it gives you a list of all the different symbols, and when you see a symbol that you like. What you do is then you like, okay, I like this one, I like that one, whoever it might be, and then you can give me a call and tell me what it is that you like, or we can meet.
Okay.
It's better we meet so we
So you
can
can
have
see.
a conversation, so
Right.
you can see what it's all about.
So-
Because the one thing I tell people all the time is that when you see one thing, but then when you see something else, oh, I like this better, I like
Yeah.
that better.
You
Because
have to be
once you
exposed
see
to it.
them, when you have a whole bunch of choices, it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know, I don't like that one no more. That's what happens. That's what we do.
But it's all good.
It's all good. And like I said, for me, the one thing, and like I said, for getting me started, getting me going, it was at Union Temple.
Wow.
That was for me. That was my basis.
Yes.
Getting me
Mine
started
too.
and learning more about myself.
As the
And
person.
once you learn about yourself,
And your culture.
you be like,
Yes.
wow. And that's why I make sure people can, when
Well-
they talk with us, that's it.
Brother Spencer, it's been a pleasure having you here, brother. We're looking forward to having you back. Come with back
Appreciate
with
it,
us
sir.
again.
And I appreciate it, my brother.
Yes, man. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time because I know there's so much that you have here. And wow, we got pieces all over the place here. We've been talking with Brother Jerry Spence. He's a woodcraft artist, and he just do wonderful work. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And the spirituality that's embedded in each one of these Adinkra symbols.
That's it.
And once again, we'd like to promote the book, The Adinkra Dictionary by my good friend W. Bruce Willis. And you can get this book. Y'all go online and get this book, and you can contact Brother Bruce. But we thank you for coming. This is Danny Queens, Color Me Poetry. And until next time, color me poetry. I am, I can, and I will.
Thank you.
Be at peace.